everybody.
Oops.
Thanks for watching those ads. So we are getting into what we thought we were going to get innovation versus stats, because, well, I thought it had just begun, but apparently we were wrong. 2 games had already played out, and both were won by stats, which I
It's
find
amazing.
pretty surprising. Not just, like, oh my god, it's innovation, he's always supposed to win, but like PVT, Terran's supposed to be a little bit favored, maybe not after Liberator enough, I don't know if that really changed enough, and then, like, innovation is innovation, like, at least a 2-1 against the guy, not a 2-0.
Yeah, he's not only the race that is these days still favored in that matchup, he is also, like you said, it is innovation. He is one of the best players of that race in the entire world, if not the best. So, very strange to see him not even take a map in that series. I mean, stats winning 2-1, fair enough. I'll accept it. If you come to me and you're like, Maynard, stats 2-0 in innovation in a pretty quick series, I'd be like, are you yanking my chain, sir or madam? But nope. This is the world we live in. Stats is going to be facing Sue, and that is going to be a great PvZ. Very excited.
So, I'm not sure which account is Sue on Twitter. See, I thought it was StarCraft 2 Sue, because that's what everyone follows, but then someone named Sue followed me on Twitter, and it's followed by another Korean guy. So, who knows?
I'm not too sure. I have there's an account that I think is Sue that like favorites stuff I say a lot about Korean StarCraft, but it's not. It's like a guy that has Sue's picture with Sue in his tag, but it's not him.
Hold on here. I would ask him, but he's not joining the lobby, so we're going to be waiting a little bit longer. Newkirk Precincts, everyone's in the lobby waiting. It's all on Sue.
Yeah, we're just waiting on Sue. I don't know, mate. What do you want to talk about? What's on your mind?
I don't know, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about a lot of things. Not all of it stream appropriate, but... Oh, I've got an idea. Where's my Until Dawn stream at?
Until Dawn? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where's my Until Dawn stream at?
Man.
On Twitch TV Zombie Grub.
Here's my excuse, right? You ready for this?
Oh, it's got to be good. It has to be good.
I have been playing a shit ton of StarCraft 2, actually.
Okay, you know what? That's a good response.
Yeah,
You're allowed to do that.
I don't know what
That's good.
happened. I went
I
from
don't know either.
not really playing a whole lot to playing, and then being so mad at myself for being so bad from not playing for so long that I just, like, grinded out, like, 36 games or something. Like, I was like a machine. And that's what I've been doing, like,
Wow.
all the off days that we had. And I was playing the other races
impressed.
as well. I wasn't as mad that I was bad at Zerg and Protoss, but I was still pretty mad.
Jeez,
So-
I went from grilling you to needing to fan myself down. What a response!
Yeah,
amazing.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Whew,
good.
good thing the air conditioning's on in here. I'd be blushing right now. But yeah, I've been hitting this ladder pretty hard as well. I actually quite enjoy. Didn't think I would, but I don't hate the map pool. I actually quite like it. So I'm having a good time. You play
Yeah.
Terran primarily, right? Or are you randoming?
Correct. I switch around, but it's mainly Terran.
I'm only playing Terran at the moment. I'm trying to get a not to plug my own stream on another stream, but I'm trying to get a ladder stream prepared, and I'm trying to iron out a few things before I do. Gameplay wise, stream wise, I'm
Yeah.
good to go, but gameplay wise, I need to iron out a few crinkles.
Yeah, for sure. I hate playing and streaming. It's like as soon as I get back into the game, so I've also been holding off. Plus, the last time I had to stream because we wanted to let everyone know about the Matcherino fundraiser, which, if you guys don't know, exclamation point mega. Well, actually, that doesn't work. Go to Matcherino. Someone will link it in the chat. And
Good hustle.
you can donate. I think the code might still work, but someone will be kind enough to link all that information in the chat. That'd help me out a lot. But the point is, as soon as I started streaming, because I had warmed up before the stream, I was just playing when Rifkin was like, hey, you should stream. I just immediately started losing all my games, and I was like, guys, I swear, like, I was winning before this.
That feel when.
Yeah, there were, like, stupid losses, too, like a Baneling bust, and, like, a triple, like, anyways. That aside, we are into the first game. Let's get the score up here. In this brand new best of 3. In the bottom right is the red Zerg. He is Sue.
Sue. That's the Sims sound. And in the bottom left here, from Splice, it is Stats. Splice a foreign team that's picked up a couple pretty amazing Koreans.
Pretty amazing, yeah. It's super cool that they didn't just get on board. They kind of jumped on board at this point with 3 players now on their team. It's pretty cool.
You know what? They're one of the organizations that are smart, man. They are feeling the resurgence for StarCraft 2, and they're getting in on the ground floor.
Exactly. Man, you know, I'm like so close, right, to being able to live in a comfortable manner, like maybe move out, you know, all the adult things in the world.
Do you mean a manor as in like one of those 3-story houses that have wings and stuff? Or do you mean like
I mean that Korean apartment, but with internet.
I actually saw that vlog.
Yeah, it's pretty small. But the point is, like, if I could reasonably afford someone to just put like base trade TV stats or like ZG stats, like I might actually do that one day. That's a better investment than stocks or 401k. StarCraft 2 player.
Hey man, stocks can get pretty legit. Okay, I think we've had this. I think we already touched on this earlier on. Sue going for a pretty fast 3 hatchery build here.
Oh yeah.
Stats. Stats, we'll see it with his probe, but greedy boy. And Sue is one of these kids that's been, you know, we were talking about top 4 Terrans. This guy's been a top 4 Zerg for quite a while.
Yeah, Sue's pretty boss.
Along the lines of, you know, with his other brethren, his peers, I suppose, being Dark, Bjol. I guess Leonarch right now is pretty good. It's been the round of 16 of GSL.
It looks pretty good, yeah. Not quite the same name as everyone else, but you know, we see the trend. But Sue, big difference, you know, all the rest of them, has been participating, I think, in a couple more tournaments online. He's still not, like, Gumiho levels of always playing, but I haven't seen Dark yet, right, which is a bit surprising. And Leonarch occasionally joins, but doesn't get as deep runs. And then Bjol barely joins, too. So Sue's kind of my favorite Zerg right now for those reasons. Plus, he's quite responsive and communicative.
He's responsive, and he also has a winning smile, which
That's
is important
true.
for a gamer as well. So stats is dropping that Twilight Council, going for adepts and a fast resonating glaives. So, you know, adept pressure could be on the cards here. Of course, Protoss still like to make Dark Shrine and Archons, but he is putting that money into resonating glaives. So I don't know.
Well, it's going to be scouted by the Overlord. I do like that stats didn't bother with a Mothership core. Usually this is always like kind of like hit or miss, especially against the Korean Zergs that can do a bit of everything. But in this case, he scouted the 3 hatch early, so knew he didn't need it, and we'll have slightly faster production for it. This is scouted by Sue as well, and Sue should just have a good number of Lings and Roaches. His Roach Warren is going to pair up with this pretty well, it looks like.
A good number of drones as well, just quietly, because he's been droning very nicely on these three hatcheries.
As long as he doesn't underestimate the power of the push. Like, this is not going to be the all-in, and he's continuing scouting, too, to make sure that isn't the case. Like, no extra 5 gateways came down or something like that. It's just going to be, like, 6 to 8 adepts running across, so 7. Okay. 6 to 8, 7. Okay, that makes sense.
6 to 8, 7.
Yeah, go into that base. And this is something that even Masslings could technically deal with if they caught them in transit, but you do need the Roaches in case they get in the mineral line. It'd be really annoying.
Yeah. Adepts shading across the map here with resonating glaives, getting over to the 3rd hatchery as quickly as possible. Let's see what they can get done. Just engaging these Lings so far. Losing Lings, not so much of a big deal. Losing a couple of these adepts before he shades into that natural, and there is Roaches and another Queen to help out with another cluster of Lings. And it just looks like Sue's completely pooped on this, for lack of a better term.
It was a pretty good defense. It wasn't absolutely perfect. You know, losing a couple of drones,
He lost a few
taking a
drones,
little bit.
yeah. He didn't need to lose those, but yeah.
Yeah, and it took a bit longer to clean up everything. They did get at least 1 transfer through, but that was a good defense. Now, Stats started warping him back home, realizing that he probably wasn't going to do a lot of damage with that, so he's safe to take a 3rd base, I think. This is not that wise of a move, though. This was really dangerous. I actually don't know why Sue is retreating. He could have surrounded those.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a lot of adepts here, he could have lost all his Roaches, but with these Lings, he feels pretty safe, and he is going to press the issue here. Possibly force a cancel on this 3rd Nexus. Nom-nomming away on that pylon, it does go down. There is a Prism out for Stats, and he's just heading across the map with that to see what he can get done back in Sue's base. A Force Field to try and protect the pylon, but doesn't cover every pixel. Does go down. And this 3rd Nexus is going to be cancelled for sure.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. It was a bit of ways in, you know? Like, that was a little bit late for that cancel. If he was if he knew it was going to be canceled anyways. He really hoped he could have saved it, either by threatening with the Warp Prism or just, you know, barely having enough on the home front.
Yeah, Stats with a hefty supply block that he has to fix up as well with the triple pylons here in the natural. Bit annoying because he's trying to get that Immortal Force up because he knows he's up against a Roach army here, and obviously that's going to be pretty nice. And Sue's like, you know what? I've got all the time in the world, mate. I'm going to make 11 drones on my 3 hatcheries here and just really fatten that economy.
Yeah, he wasn't at the best one when he did that attack, so it is important to note. Like, killing that, or denying that third base for a little while and even getting some of the army. Yeah, it's good, but it was something that he also had to do. So now he's getting to a better economy, but Stats is also now getting, you know, Immortals out, so losing another base shouldn't be happening anytime soon. He's even got a bit of SimCity going on. This can backfire as the game goes on to have your gateways here, but for now it'll be probably a good move.
Yes, it can get pretty tough. There are a couple maps in the new map pool actually that make it a little bit awkward for Protoss when they try and try to wall in as well. I saw a bunch of games where I think it was actually on Abyssal defending against the Zerg. I saw a Protoss get completely wrecked by Corrosive Bile attack just because he just couldn't do anything about his SimCity.
Yeah.
So Stats with a lot of energy here for many force fields. Guardian Shield going down here, not using any force fields just yet. Doesn't want to jump the gun. He is going to recall and leave.
That was dangerous. That is a sign of a true Protoss professional, I suppose, to wait so patiently when your army's like 90% sentries. God.
Yeah, that's a tickle army there. They are a spellcaster unit. They're not meant to do damage, but you don't want to lose them. They're quite a bit of gas per sentry. I think it's 100 gas. So
yeah.
Don't lose those.
It's pretty expensive. But that little poke, maybe it disrupted Sue's mining a little bit, rather his drone making. It's kind of did, but he was already at a good drone count. So 14 more to saturate that 4th base as well, bump him up to like 75. That's quite a lot. And he's going to try and get into a Spire.
Yeah, that's why I was oohing. I was like, oh, I like this. So the Roach into Spire thing definitely exists, and I like it quite a bit. I think it's very, very strong against what Stats has got, really, which is a severe and utter lack of anti-air.
Yeah. Not even going for Blink. I mean, a Stalker, should he warp him in, it will have at least +1, but he would need to warp in, like, as soon as possible, basically. That Spire is almost done, and Sue did manage to bank.
Have like 13.
Yeah.
He's gonna have like 13 years.
It's a lot to start off with. Now, if Stats had pushed 30 seconds to a minute ago with this army, Sue would have had to use that bank to make Roaches and Lings and Banelings, and he would have stalled it out a little bit further, but there's no guarantee he would have won the game with it. Stats still only has so much of an army. Now it looks really great, but not against Mutas.
What's interesting from Stats is that he sent he actually did see the Spire getting built, but I don't think he clicked on it because, I mean, or maybe he just thinks he can get away with just the Archon and the Stalker warp-ins. He did make a few more gateways.
Well, if he pushed right now,
maybe
again,
he didn't click on it.
Yeah, it's possible. He just didn't even recognize that he had scouted it, you know? Like, Lucent Phoenix goes in, you look at the main base and the third base, and you forget to look at the natural. Yeah. There it is.
So he, I don't think he clicked on the Spire. He did fly over it while it was very close to being finished. But yeah, he looks like he's scrambling to quickly get up an anti-Mutalisk defense. Obviously, the Archons are pretty amazing against Mutalisks if you get enough of them. But in this small of a number, cluster of Mutas can sort them out with some ground units and support as well.
There might also be some calling the bluff from Stats. Like, if Sue had gone for 30 Mutas and just racked them up very quickly, it's probably already snowballed either in the main or the natural or something. But Sue stopped with his first bank of Mutas and really hasn't done very much in terms of harassment, so Stats just kind of did perfect, you know? If he had over-dedicated to Phoenixes thinking, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god...
That's a really good point.
He might have been overwhelmed by this army right here, so that was, again, just a true sign of a calm, rational, professional Protoss who can actually make that decision and actually not die for it.
That's a really good point. If he made 2 Stargates and was frantically trying to get out the Phoenixes, of which he's made none, by the way, he would absolutely be overreacting to what Sue's made here. Yeah. Very, very on the point there. Very on point.
Oh, this Warp Prism can also buy some time. It's not supposed to get away from the Mutas, but it snuck around, so it's going to bring them back. This is where the mutas really come into effect. When you play, like, there's two options. There's the mass muta option, which is scary, and you should be scared of, but there's also the option you just only make 8 to 10, which is apparently what Su was going to do, and it just helps deal with War Prisms. But the game really still focuses on the ground army, and that's what's happening here. That did scout the Hive, which is pretty important. So stats already the Stargate just adds on some more and a fleet beacon.
Ooh. So his mutas aren't going to get that prism there, which is fully loaded with adepts. He's also getting a 5th hatchery while getting up into tier 3, so this is going to get into the super late game here, and I love that we're getting into the super late game. So we can see that fleet beacon going down, a couple extra Stargates, and Storm getting pumped out from stats. He's ready for that late game tier 3 as well.
Su is prepping for an engagement, it looks like, and it will be before Storm is done. But that army is so beefy. Like, I don't know about throwing Banelings into this.
I don't know about the Banelings. Zergling wrap around with the Corrosive Bile. It looks like Muta's a little bit of DPS from the sky as well. He could actually... Well, when these force fields go down and the sentries have left, he might be actually clean this up.
That is a lot of Banelings. They just power through. I don't care if it's Archons and Immortals. But that is all of his army, so it's an army trade for an army trade. Su does have more of a bank, though.
Yeah. Su does pull back, and like you said, he does have a huge bank. He's making 68 more Lings here. He's feeling a huge counterattack here, or maybe he just wants to end the game. But, yeah. A little bit of a tussle with the scraps of what's left. Both armies taking huge hits.
Damn. Okay, certainly stats could have taken a better engagement, like maybe not taking it over here where a lot of force fields had to be burned, or maybe a bit more splits on his Immortals, but you look at that and you're like, this can't possibly die to Banelings, right? Like, it's 6 Immortals and like 6 Archons, come on now, but it did. Now luckily stats did not lose any economy in that, so while his bank wasn't that impressive, Su's Remax also wasn't the type that would break a Protoss quite yet. It's like just Lings. Yeah. And Charge Lots obviously being an option too. So the Tempests are now on the way, and Storm is done.
Oh! Those Storms, though. And Lings really can't weather that. They're going to pull all the way back. Adrenal is on the way, so it seems like he wants to go for, you know, or stick, rather, with this heavy Ling army. But he is getting those Corruptors out. Broodlord is not far away here with the Great Aspire about to finish for Su. And Stats is going to be ready for it. He's got the Mothership on the way. That's the Mothership, not the Mothership Core, being morphed there between the Natural and the Third. And he's got 3 Tempests at a time being made back at home. And I think he got +1 attack for Flyer as well. Yes, he did.
Oh, yes, he did. Also finishing up on a +3 attack for his ground is pretty impressive. Had a couple of...
some strong Protoss.
Yeah, Zealots coming in here. Both of them, by the way, are just like such baller economy. 70 probes, 81 drones. Jeez Louise.
Yeah. This is going to be a lengthy-ish game, I think.
Yeah.
We got a 6 hatchery for Su going up here at the very, very top, very north.
That's something that the Zealots might be able to cancel if Su's drawn out of position. But right now, Zu is close enough that they wouldn't. Stats might have some trouble getting this 5th base up. I do think that's the one he wants to take, though.
It's making an Oracle and switching into Void Rays as well. So the Void Rays extra bit of DPS against armored units like the Broodlord. They're obviously a lot better than other anti-air options, and the Oracle there is to be able to tag so that he can actually get that extra range advantage for those Tempests on those important Broodlords, since he knows they're on the way.
War Prism was found out. Scouts that the Corruptors are here, so they might be turning into Broodlords. That's what you would expect, but of course Su has already scouted the Tempests as well, so it's kind of like, do you actually go for Broodlords? Are you actually going to play that game? Because if you are, then it's just going to be mass air versus mass air, and Stats already has Storm. He has the ability to make Archons. He's even making a couple of Void Rays, and as one thing I know is that Zerg does not like anti-air games versus Protoss at this stage. So it's going to swarm
Zerg
the ground.
also don't like the fact they also don't like facing a max Protoss army, which is about to happen here for Stats. He's not very far away from it at all.
God.
Storm's
Oh my
going down
God.
and actually shredding those Lings.
Why? Why would you run into that? But I guess they're all done now, so they morph into Archons. The Banelings still have something to say, so they roll on in. But the Tempests, they're taking care of the Corruptors.
They are, and a warp in here of Blink Stalkers to bully away the rest of those Corruptors as well. The Mothership is still alive. It's an incredibly important unit, keeping that cloak available for the Protoss. And a couple of the Archons even lived, which are another expensive unit that can recharge their hit points and heading across the map. And Stats has got a nice little army lead here, 82 versus the 69 of Su, and this 5th hatchery is starting to get a beating.
Sue did get an Ultralisk Cavern, but no chitinous plating, and do you really want to go Ultralisks here? I think he just kind of got...
it's too late if he wants to. He's kind of committed to go with what he has.
Yeah, I think he got stuck, you know? Like, he got beat out tech-wise. Stats was a step ahead of him every turn, and trying to overwhelm with Ling Banelink can sometimes work out, but chasing into retreating storms, that was always going to be tough.
The 6 hatchery evaporates this Protoss army, heavily upgraded Protoss army for stats. And Sue is trying to come in here with a lot of lings, but this choke working out lovely for the Zealots here of stats, and the Void Rays, the Stalkers, the Archons doing the rest. A flank of Banelings from the back doing absolutely nothing, and stats cleans up on both fronts here.
Damn. This is, good play by Stats. To be expected, I suppose, with the guy who 2-0'd Innovation, but that was calm, patient, smart. It wasn't too flashy.
I don't feel calm or patient or smart right now. I actually feel all the opposite of those things because of game number 1 of this series. Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, apparently. I really can't, like, emphasize enough that maybe that doesn't look too impressive. Maybe that just looked like, oh, Protoss turtled and then won. But, like, if you've ever played Protoss vs. Zerg, like, just the Muta thing, you're going to overreact to the Muta. It's almost guaranteed unless you're really good Protoss. And, you know, panicking when the Banelings roll in, you're gonna screw that up. Not taking a 4th base at the right time and falling behind in a macro game, you're gonna screw that up. Like, there's so many things he could have screwed up, and instead it was calm and just... Yeah, okay, maybe I took a bit bad of a fight, but that's okay, like, I can recover. And he did, and he just... Well, it was beautiful, basically. But I don't have to make the game. Olivia made it. Amazing.
They took it away from you. Oh,
My
I
one
can join
job.
off you. Well, you actually have a couple jobs, to be fair. You have to cast the game as well.
It's true, this time I'm also streaming, and...
And you're streaming.
It's
And
fun
you had that whole
times.
Team Liquid thing to deal with that second task kill had to fix up.
Well,
You're overworked and underpaid, let me grab. As much as, you know, I know you're talking about manners, but, you know, it could be a mansion. And
yeah. One day I'll live in a
It
mansion
really-
in
you're really
Korea.
struggling. Yeah. Have a wing for the cats.
Have a wing for the all the cats.
All
Yeah.
cats. I would absolutely have a wing for my dog. I love my dog so much.
Oh, an entire wing for a single dog. Like, I at least
For the dog.
imagined.
Nah, see, the thing is, even if I had a wing, the dog would just want to be wherever I am. So, like wherever my main bedroom would be in whatever mansion I'm going to have in the future with those esport dollar bills,
Yeah.
he's going to be sleeping on it. So
All right.
it's kind of a waste of money to make a wing for the dog. I could make a wing for you and your cats.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
what I could do.
There,
You're welcome.
that's what's gonna happen. Me and my 15 cats, depending on how big the wing
Hell
is.
yeah. Embrace the cat lady lifestyle.
Yeah. I will, man. We're probably gonna get
yeah.
two cats in the spring, actually.
Oh, nice. That's exciting.
Oh yeah.
Have you thought about names or what kind of cats you're going to have? What breeds?
Guaranteed, we're gonna have one tuxedo cat because
Nice.
we've kept a line of Ziggies being tuxedo cats, so that's gonna happen. And then I don't know. I think I'll let my parents choose a name next time because I chose Apollos, so
Yep.
it's only fair.
That's based on the god, not the commentator, of course. Just to
Actually,
reiterate out there.
it's based off the Battlestar Galactica player, character.
Oh,
so.
yes, of course. Yeah. That handsome devil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fit one, not fat Apollo. Although Apollo's
the
kind of
fit- the
fat right
fit-
now.
The fit one that was friends with Starbuck. I watched the series.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you watched. They were friends. Nothing more.
Friends. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into game number 2. The first one was amazing and epic and all those words. And the top left, as the red Protoss, he is Stats.
He is, and he's been looking really good. I mean, we didn't get to see the series, but we know he 2-word's innovation, so he is looking good. And on the top right here, going pull first, it is Sue.
Oh yeah, he chose Cactus Valley. He was hoping Stats didn't get this scout, and, well, he done goofed. He got a scout.
You done goofed. I mean, the one thing he's got going for him is that Stats is trying to wall the low ground, but that said, though, the wall in on the low ground's not that much different from walling on top of the ramp, because it is a nice choke. So, it's not too hard to wall in.
Yeah, that's the true downside of choosing Cactus Valley. You get the surprise element, maybe, but if you don't, and they low ground wall off, it's an easy wall off. No weak points either with like a pylon. I guess the Zealot's technically the weak point, but It'll be fine against Lings.
All Squishling with a 1-year subscription. That is a part
Nice.
2 for you, I believe, sir. If
It
my base
is.
trade knowledge is not off.
Yeah. Message Base Trade TV, not Whisper, and you will be able to add your name and address to the amazing Google Doc, basically. And I will send you part 2 for
Literally
this
the
month.
dream.
Exactly.
So a nice position on this pylon from stats means that the Lings can't get full coverage on it and can't DPS it down very easily. This is actually a full wall by the looks of it. So stats actually can't get those zealots out.
No.
He needs to kill that pylon to be able to get down here and deal with the Lings. He wants to save that gateway.
Yeah, that will allow the Lings to scout, but, 2 Lings is not that bad to deal with. The probes would be pulled
Nah,
for
you
like a
can
second.
break off one zealot. Yep.
Yeah, or this, yeah, exactly. So, Stats, of course, had to delay his Nexus, but not even the usual amounts. If this is another map, you have to do 2 gateways, or sometimes even 3 gateways, 2 pylons, that type of thing. A lot more minerals go into the wall, but this time it was an extra pylon, a couple extra zealots, and the Nexus goes down not too bad of a time. And Sue's only just got his hatchery up.
Yeah, so what Sue accomplished from this very early pull and investment into the Lings is not a whole lot. He got a scouting information basically. He didn't get he damaged the gateway very heavily, but that's not a kill. So now Sue has a bunch of Lings back at home.
Ooh.
His workers are equal that of the Protoss, not generally where you want to be at this point. He is getting a 3rd hatchery as well.
If Stats had gone across the map with both Zealots and an Adept, he would have made Sue sweat quite a bit. Like, even if he made 20 Lings, he would have to catch them in transit, which I guess he could have. But still, that would have been 10 more Lings he did not want to make. 5 less drones,
Yeah.
that type of deal.
Yeah.
Math.
Making Lings instead of drones is damage in some way. So if you're making attacking units that do nothing, then that could be income. You're missing out on it.
Yeah.
But I've got a question from Sobo Red in the chat, just quickly while we have a lull in the action here. What kind of guitars do I have? I have 3 guitars. I got a Martin acoustic dreadnought. It's an electric acoustic, so it has the electric sort of pickups in there. That is an acoustic on its own as well. I have a 71 custom SG Gibson, and I also have a 8-string Ibanez for my dark and brutal metal days when I want to play something really loud.
Yeah, I really look forward to the day where someone will ask a question about, like, what type of consoles do you have behind you? They look super cool. Oh, well, I have an old Super Nintendo.
You don't get those questions?
Original.
Oh,
No,
hell
not
yeah, I
really.
do too.
Yeah, I actually have all the consoles, like, except the GameCube,
Oh.
because I didn't care about the GameCube.
I got the GameCube. I think you actually, I think the GameCube's a little bit underrated.
Oh, you know
I got a
what?
GameCube.
I bought a GameCube when I was in college to play with a girl down the hall with, because it was like $80. And we were like, this sounds like a great idea.
I got it later in life as well because it's one of those really really cheap consoles. It dived in price really fast. So.
It did, yeah. So I have Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I think that's all I bought for it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the reason you get a GameCube is that you want to get Melee. Also, I think I had like Twilight Princess on it and Wind Waker and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah. Well, Sue has tried to recover from the early game damage, and he got to that decent drone count 41, so it's actually kind of similar to last game, but of course Stats had a much better opener himself. He didn't have to cancel that 3rd Nexus. Accidentally meets the army, though, not expecting it, and is going to have to, yep, there we go, burn a couple of force fields by time. Not burning
Yeah,
enough,
these force
though.
fields.
Hey, wait a second.
These force fields aren't too bad, but they are delaying the inevitable here, and he does need to engage this army eventually, and it is very scary from Sue. He's up almost triple the army supply of Stats here, and he is pressing this issue. The 3rd Nexus is in a lot of trouble, and Stats in general is in a lot of trouble. His army is going to go down here to the Lings of Sue.
I'm so surprised that Stats didn't force field and retreat into the natural and cancel the Nexus. Like, I thought that was the only option when he saw how many roaches there were, but he tried to micro thinking that there was only roaches. So when the Lings came at him, he really started to take bad trades.
Yeah.
I think
Now
that was
this
an
Nexus
absolute
is kill.
screw up by Stats, and that's actually game.
I think you're quite right. The moment where stuff went pear-shaped there for Stats was that decision to try and hold on to the 3rd, and he paid very, very dearly for it. GG, well played.
Did not
By Sue.
expect that after that opener. Now, apparently he needed Stats. That's why he was out and about in the middle of the map anyway. It was pretty bad.
Well, He's the guy that 2-0'd Innovation, and he's the guy that looked amazing in game number 1, so let's not count him out yet. This could be a 2-1 victory in Stats' favor. But again, Sue is Sue. Wouldn't be surprised at all if he took the series as well, which is why we kind of wanted this series. Because these guys are really very well matched, I feel.
I think so. Stu is a bit more aggressive than I thought he would be, but not too surprising. Mid-game roach attacks on the third base have actually kind of been his thing for a couple other series. But we do have the map. Good Guy Stats messaged me, but I'm actually not making it this time, so it's Proxima. Stu even messaged me and said 1 second. Oh, I'm finally known.
Finally, yeah.
Finally, I've made it.
You got there. It only took, what, 3 or 4 years of commentary and tournaments and...
And people still message Rifkin the maps. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, base trade is technically, I suppose, originally his thing. I guess.
It is his account.
Yeah, I mean, we had all that issue trying to get the Team Liquid thing happening. But,
it's true.
Yeah.
I found out why, by the way. Because of the Dong Wars. I guess he had to change a couple of things. Because I also had trouble getting the stream key. I didn't realize that the stream key was changed. And luckily I had the account for that.
You wouldn't want to go bare naked with all your base trade information for the Dong Wars, I suppose.
I guess not. But yeah.
It's a very juicy Twitch account.
We fixed it all up. Thank you to Rustic Loaf Cats for the 100 bits. That's an interesting
Damn, that's pretty good. That's $10, right? That's all right.
I think it's $1. You take away 2 zeros.
Is it $1?
It's $1.
Oh, you take 2 zeros.
Yeah.
Okay, so those 10,000 bit
Oopsie, wrong one.
donations are not as huge as I thought they were.
You were like, man, I'm making so much cash.
I'm like, whoa, that's like $1,000, man. Damn.
Oh god, no, that's not quite that
I am
impressive.
the biggest Twitch noob, by the way. I can't wait to start streaming and have everything fall on its face. It's gonna be great. In the top right here, it is winning the game number 1, losing game number 2. Will he win game number 3? That is the question we're gonna answer here. This is Stats from Team Splice.
In the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, he is Sue.
Sue.
I know a lot of people have been asking about Rifkin. Well, not really asking. People have been asking, and then I guess people have been making up stories, which...
Yeah, people ask, and then Twitch chat answers themselves.
Yeah.
That's not how you get an answer.
There
But
we
anyway.
go. But
Yeah.
the real answer is not that he's stuck in his coffin. It's not that he overgorged on blood. It's not any of those things. It's that he is on his way to the airport, actually, kind of like right now, to go to California to check out the Corsair headquarters for the Ting Finals and make sure everything is Gucci. So
Yeah, I saw that venue as well. That San Jose venue looks good.
it looks nice. It does definitely look nice. So we're just gonna make sure that everything is, ready to go for it, and everything is a-okay. So it's professional stuff, guys. We are professionals.
Hashtag professional.
Exactly.
Oh yes. And Maynard is all about that gent with that H string I saw from Ekyej. Ekyej? I'm sorry if I messed up your name. You are a mod of this channel. I should probably do better. Yeah, sometimes. I like it. I'm a big fan of Meshuggah. Meshuggah is one of my favorite bands of all time, so I had to get the 8 string eventually.
Oh, is this like pro gamers? Do you like have your favorite band or your favorite guitarist and like want to own the guitar they use?
Sometimes, yeah. No, I mean, it's not so much
man.
because, in pro gaming you have teams and you want to wear their logos, but you don't really get you can get signature instruments in music, but I feel like it's kind of try hard and also not worth the money, because there are guitarists that will sell like, here's a guitar that you can get for $50 that I signed and it's 20 grand, and you're like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
like I love you and you're amazing, but I don't love you that much. I'm sorry. So.
See, I definitely paid, not a extreme. I paid like $200, I think, for that Slayer's jacket that I own. $250 maybe. Totally worth though. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
absolutely. I mean, the team doesn't exist anymore. None of the Slayer. I mean, some of the Slayers still play, but that jacket is legit. Like, I've seen it for sure.
It is legit. I also think I think it looks nice. But so that was worth. But I would have spent so much more money if they kept on selling them. But they kind of like crapped out on the whole deal. That's whatever. I would have bought the bag and like the pants and like anything, man. I did, however, look up what Boxer used in StarCraft 2 when he first, when he was actually playing, and I based my peripherals on that when I first started playing StarCraft. So there was like a Razer, like Death Adder, I think, and I used blue keys because he used blue keys. I still miss blue keys, but they were so loud.
It sounds like I accidentally had what you and Boxer had. Unfortunately, Boxer having a slightly more successful StarCraft 2 career than you've had so far, but it is early days. It is early days. It's only 2017. StarCraft's got a few more years in it left.
Yeah, you don't know me, man.
Maybe you can get there.
I'm telling you, after last week, I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep grinding like that, like the immortal Bob Ross said, it's amazing what a little practice can do.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't talked at all about the game so far, so it is Proxima.
Well,
it was Sue choice. Oh no, it's Stats choice. My bad. Yep, Stargate opener.
Yep, it's going for an Oracle opening here. Sue with the 3 hatchery openings. Just it wasn't a crazy Ling opening. It was a more standard looking bit of scouting action with an Evo chamber going down. So, I mean, the Evo chamber is a little bit interesting, but he is going to use that for a quick +1 on the range. So we'll be seeing. Has he got a Roach Warren yet? Doesn't look like it.
I think so, yeah. Just playing a little bit greedy, but still wanting to get that upgrade going. Oracle does nothing at all. Good job, buddy.
Yes. Really important to get that creep shimmer on that ramp as well, because especially when you're up against a guy that's making oracles, yeah, you got a spore crawler, but oracles just seem to always find damage, and it's very nice to be able to get your queens down from that main. Ooh. This kind of setup on Proxima Station reminds me a little bit of Dust Towers. Oh, not Dust Towers. What was that other map at the beginning of Legacy of the Void? We had that back pocket
Orbital
expansion.
Shipyard?
That's the one. It reminds me of that one.
Gotcha. Yeah. The early Legacy of the Void map pool was really just everyone macro.
Oh god. May it die in a fire.
It lasted way too long was its main problem.
It did, yeah.
Alright, so Stats did a little bit, a bit of greed here, but it makes sense for this map pool. He went 1 gate into a 3rd base, only just adds his other gateways, but he's also going for multiple Stargates, so I'm thinking carriers. Hell
yes. Yeah. And Sue is going to make a Hydralisk dam, and you know what? Hydras... If you try and think about, like, in StarCraft, the size of what an actual carrier is supposed to be, and what the size of an actual Hydralisk is, it's pretty hilarious, because a Hydralisk can definitely kill a carrier. But, yeah. So, I don't know if you've seen that mod. I've seen it in a couple of YouTube channels, where there was a mod to be able to have, like, actual size units.
Yes,
where the Zerglings were, like, super tiny, and the battle cruisers take up, like, 3/4 of the screen.
Yeah, but they still died like a handful of Marines.
Yeah, and then 3 Marines kill it.
Feels real.
StarCraft. I love it.
Exactly. Well, in actual game terms, Hydras will have difficulty killing carriers if they can't really reach them. Now, when they're in low numbers, killing the interceptors is fine enough, and that might be what Sue's going to try and do. But if he's stuck at the wall and then the choke with force fields and the carriers are just kind of staying behind safely with their upgrade research, Graviton catapults, this should be a very good map for it, basically. I mean, we even got cannons coming down, which is one of the ways you can help deal with the Hydras. You either invest into Adepts or you invest into cannons. I think cannons are better here.
You need a lot of one or the other or both, because Hydralisk's DPS is very, very good at shredding a relatively low hit point structure like a photon cannon, and any gateway unit really can have a tough time against Hydras in large numbers, and we're seeing it happen right before our very eyes as these Hydras start to pressure on this 3rd nexus here of Stats. They're getting a couple gateways, and these cannons, like I said, they go down pretty quickly to the Hydras if you don't have enough. Yeah,
they weren't done in time, and the carriers are only just coming out, so these did not buy the time they were supposed to or deal the damage they were supposed to, and Stats may have just messed up by like a matter of 20 seconds.
Yeah, and 20 seconds is 1,000 years as far as StarCraft 2 pro gaming is concerned. That's a huge window here, and Stats is taking a lot of heat here from Sue, who has hit an incredible timing. This mothership saving that Nexus just in time. There is no Overseer here, and all these Queens came out as well, but he has no detection.
Savior. Oh my good god.
Oh, Derek comes just now, but only 1 Overseer.
It could be targeted, but there's really not that much to target it. It's safely kept in the back as well. There's so many Hydralisks. I don't think 3 carriers can deal with this.
No, I don't think so either. Once these Hydralisks take out that mothership, I feel like Stats is going to be losing this game. He needs to keep that alive to have any chance of victory here, but his interceptor count, he only has 1 interceptor left.
Yeah, it's just, even with Graviton Catapult, 3 carriers is not enough, and oh boy, he was supposed to buy so much more time. The cannons lead to the mothership leads to Cloak on maybe 6 carriers, and 6 carriers is a lot different of a game. GG.
Wow, Sue getting the Series 2-1 there. Very nicely played. What a brilliant timing from him with his Hydralisks.
Yeah,
and really punished Stats for that carrier build. Read him like a book.
That too. Yeah, it was a very good read and just power punching through, basically. That's going to lead Sue to the semifinals, so he's in the money and in the points. So we'll be waiting for probably the semifinals to begin. So we're a little behind when it came to Zest. He only just 2-1'd Armani. He's up against Hush right now. Then he has to face Ryung, or Hush has to face Ryung, I guess.
There's a live Leenock happening as well.
Everything probably should have started. Would have been awfully coincidental.
It should have.
Well, Live's actually AFK.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Zest versus Hush PvP to face Ryung. Impact Beyond.
A lot of good games. So we'll see
really
which
nice
ones.
looking round of 16.
We'll see which ones we can get into, and of course that will lead us to our next commercial break. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you soon.